Goree Island, a small landmass situated just off the Senegalese coast, holds a place of profound historical significance. Its story is intimately tied to the Atlantic slave trade, an event that violently reshaped societies across continents. This video aims to present a factual account of Goree Island's development and its function within that system, relying on documented history to provide a clear understanding and dispelling common misinterpretations. Long before European arrival, the area surrounding Goree Island was inhabited by various West African peoples. Their existence, focused on agriculture and fishing, predates the island's eventual role in global commerce. It was an established land with communities and systems of their own. In 1444, Portuguese sailors reached the island. They initially sought to establish a trading post, aiming to acquire goods from the mainland. They were not interested in slaves. The Portuguese named the island Ilha de Palma. They constructed a small chapel and began trading for goods like beeswax, animal skins, and some gold. This initial phase represented a typical pattern of European coastal trade in West Africa. The Dutch seized Goree Island in 1626, renaming it Good Reed, meaning good roadstead. Recognizing its strategic value, they improved the island's defenses and further developed its trading infrastructure. The Dutch presence solidified Goree's position as a key point in maritime trade networks and shifted from the trade of goods to that of humans. French control began in 1677. Under French rule, Goree Island continued to evolve. The French expanded the island's fortifications, constructing stone buildings that remain visible today. Trade diversified, with the French dealing in textiles, firearms, and other manufactured goods, alongside the troubling increase in the trade of enslaved people. Goree Island became a significant center for the Atlantic slave trade. Captives from the interior of Africa were brought to the island, held in holding facilities, and then transported across the Atlantic to the Americas. Historical records indicate that tens of thousands of people passed through Goree Island during the peak years of the trade, although the island's overall contribution to the total numbers of enslaved people shipped from Africa has often been overstated. Enslaved people faced brutal conditions. They were separated from their families, subjected to physical abuse, and deprived of their basic human rights. One of the most visited sites on Goree Island is the House of Slaves. Popular belief holds that this building was the last point of departure for countless enslaved Africans. However, some historical accounts propose that the building might have primarily functioned as the residence of a wealthy merchant family, who were also involved in the slave trade. While certainly a location associated with the slave trade, its actual role as the last door for vast numbers is disputed by some experts. Regardless, it exists as a symbol of the pain and horror that the slave trade brought to millions. This reminds us of the atrocities committed. The enslaved people transported from Goree Island and other locations were forced into labor on plantations and in mines across the Americas. Their labor fueled the economic growth of European colonies, while they themselves were subjected to a lifetime of servitude and oppression. In the 19th century, the transatlantic slave trade began to decline. European powers, including France, officially abolished the practice. Goree Island transitioned under French colonial rule, becoming an administrative center within French West Africa. While the slave trade ended, the island remained under colonial control for decades. Today, Goree Island stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, serving as a memorial to the victims of the Atlantic slave trade. It reminds us of the millions who suffered and died. The island is a place of remembrance and reflection, urging us to confront the difficult history of slavery. Understanding Goree Island's history requires a balanced view. Recognizing the island's significance within the broader context of the transatlantic slave trade is of the utmost importance. The truth serves to deepen our understanding of this inhumane practice.